Good morning, good morning. Beautiful day to everyone. Not be out, but it's a beautiful day nonetheless. So, trying to wait to see if a few of you all come in so we can get this going really quickly. All right. So, this morning's topic, let me turn this down. This morning's topic, really quick, is can you fix what you broke, or do you move on to the next and work with the person that someone else broke? Again, can you fix what you broke, or do you move on to the next and work with the person that someone else broke? So this is about, basically, we're talking about, this is like the backdrop of infidelity within a relationship, and you're dealing with some broken people. And so the question is, do you put in the work and work as hard as you can at restoring it, or do you likely, in this day and climate, move on to the next person, which will more than likely be hurt and broken too? So either way, you're going to do some fixing. So just the fixing, where is it going to count? With the new or the old? So, really quick, here's the backdrop of this person's story. This is a guy. He said, I have been with my woman for 7 years. We have a daughter. Over that time period, I have stepped out. So has she. But it was more of get back. On the get back. Then we went through a period of being cool. Everything was quiet and copacetic. Then, over the past year, I fell off and went back to doing the same thing again. Since then, I have stopped. We have put in some things in place to make amends so that we can keep working. We can keep working. But my question to you is, when does it let up? To me, it seems to be too much. Here's examples of what I deal with. I work nights, and when I leave for work at night, she wants me to FaceTime her when I get there, FaceTime her on my lunch break, and FaceTime her when I get off in the morning on my way home. Wow. All right. That's a lot. However, one thing before I get into it, the one question I did ask him before I got into talking to him about this, I said, where did those crimes happen? Those crimes that, meaning, I said, when I say crimes, I meant the moments of infidelity, the cheating. Where did the crimes take place? And he said, at work. Sometimes I will take off. Sometimes I went on my lunch break. And sometimes I stopped by when I got off. I said, bingo. I said, this is why she's holding you in this contempt, because she feels like you stripped her trust when it came to doing, doing what you're supposed to be doing, whatever. And so now, here you are. You're in this bad space. And I told him, I think it must be really bad to get all the way to the point that you got to FaceTime check in. So, all right. So here's my take. This is look, I'm going to be straight. I have certainly myself been under the watch. Okay. I have been the offender. I have been the offendee. So I've seen it on both sides. I've seen the side where, when it gets so bad, where you with the person because, we tell ourselves a lot of times it's love, when really it's asphyxiation. Sometimes people become like a drug to us, and we know it's not good, but it provides a high. So we smoke it or use it or inject it, whatever we do. We deal with them anyway because they provide something. But there comes a point when you got to look at some things, and sometimes, and you got to ask yourself, does this look like love? Does it look like a commitment? Does it look like a relationship? Or is this reminiscent of prison? Because if you don't, either way, I say prison meaning the guy could be, I mean, not just a guy, but whoever's the person who did the act, whether it be the woman or the man. At some point, sometimes the interrogation, the constant watching, it will feel like prison. And then the person who's doing it, I mean, who's administering this, they take on the task of being the guard, the warden, and all this kind of stuff. And so it gets real deep. Shoot, I mean, look, the thing is this: the long and short is, if you have a problem, if a person can identify they have a problem holding it together with the commitment, then you probably have a problem being in a relationship, period. If you just can't stop yourself. I get it. Look, this may not sound popular, but listen, honestly, this world we live in, especially because the way times are changing and the way the world is becoming so easy, it's real easy for people to mess up. It's to be selfish. I don't even want to say mess up, to be selfish. It's real easy for someone to be selfish and step to the side and take care of a need, take care of whatever that you need. They'll do it. So the question of the hour is, do you try to fix the issue that you have, no matter how dysfunctional it seems with your person? Or do you say, hey, this has got to a bad place, let's just split, and then you'll likely end up with another person that someone else didn't fix, and you have to do the work anyway. So this is my one piece that I would say on this, and I'm only gonna say this from the man's perspective. Women, y'all take if you were putting the shoe on your foot as the cheater or whatever. But here's my thought from a man's perspective concerning what I just read to you all about the guy and how now the infidelity in their relationship has reached a place that because he works at night, she is now requiring him to FaceTime her when he gets there, FaceTime her on his lunch break, and FaceTime her on the way home. That's the severity of it. So here's the thing: as a man, men will only, I'm gonna say this slow, men will only heal who they love. A man will only heal who he loves. If he doesn't love the woman, he does not want to do the time. If a guy loves the woman, he'll do like this: okay, I messed up. Put the cuffs on me, put me on probation, put me in solitary confinement. I deserve it. It may sound crazy, but it's the truth. That's really what's subliminally happening in the mind of the man. He submits if he loves her. If he does not love the woman, he ain't trying to do no time. Matter of fact, when you catch him, he gonna be mad at you. He gonna be mad at you for catching him. And then he's going to, you're not gonna be remorseful. And pretty much he says, oh well. You ever seen movies where there might have been a janky salesperson that comes to your house, and they've been coming because they feel like you're a good mark. You're a good mark. And the minute someone says, oh, don't you so-and-so, this person is going around ripping people off, and when you open the door and they tell you something, you be like, look, I found out that you ripping everybody in the neighborhood off. They hurry up and take all their props, put it in their suitcase, and they leave because they know the gig is up here. So let me go take my work elsewhere, and they don't want to put in the time. So like I said, if a person, if they value you as a man, I'm just speaking from a man's perspective, he will offer the healing. Now, of course, y'all gotta be fair about it, because sometimes the healing is just not everything that someone is saying they need to be prescribed to help me get through. Sometimes you gotta go to a mutual party. You gotta go to counseling and be like, look, I did this, she did this before, but I did this, and I'm gonna take the responsibility, or whoever. And what do you think? Because between one another, the average person is gonna always give you a bill of needs to help them get through whatever it is. They're gonna tell you, if you ask them, what do you need? They're gonna tell you some very unreasonable stuff. Some of it's gonna be basic, but some of it's gonna be unreasonable. So that's why you need the third person. someone, a third unbiased party to be like, how do you see this? Because between the two of you, it'll be a real mess when insecurity gets in there, and when it's infidelity and insecurity, and it's excessive, it gets bad. So again, the question is, what do? Do you put in the work with the value with the person that you have and try to fix it, or do you move on and say, you know what, I think we've messed this up severely, and let's do that. But like I said earlier, I feel like I have to repeat this again. A man will only heal who he loves. He only has reserve for that person. Another part of this is, here's another way we should look at this. When people, I thought about this over time, even diagnosing my own self. Cheating, as selfish as it is, cheating is it's an expression. It's a language of expression. It's physical acting without verbally projecting. You're physically acting out something that you are not communicating out your mouth, and you've taken the numb route of becoming a mute. You become a mute, and you said, I'm just going to go out here and I'm going to do whatever whenever the opportunity comes. However, there is something internally that you need to say to help free yourself. Because a lot of times you can just speak to the right person or the right woman or the right man if you have a problem. Because we all know if we have problems holding it together, infidelity-wise, if you got problems, you have to have the kind of person, you got to have this may sound, selfish, but you have to have a compassionate person to be able to hear your heart and be like, at least respect that you told them that you deal with this, you struggle with this, and then talk about it. Talk about the history. Talk about your history. Talk about this. Talk about other times where you may have been in the wrong, or you've done this. And sometimes when you're able to do that, you can discover that language with the right, and I repeat, with the right interpreter. You have to have that woman has to serve, or man that can understand your language, your unspoken language, is the right interpreter for you. You have to have the person that can interpret your issues that you don't speak. That cheating is the issues you don't speak, that you act out. So the person that can interpret it can pull you from acting and have you to speaking. And you put the acting on the back burner, and now you are speaking your issue, so you don't have to go out and selfishly act it out. So to the guy who reached out about this question, I would simply say, if you really, really love this woman, you gotta own up to the fact that you think you're in prison. You put her in a prison. That's why she is requiring all of this obsessive stuff from you, because you locked her up a long time ago when she had to retaliate and cheat on you, when she had to catch you again after forgiving you and all this stuff, and now it's a mess. And so a lot of times, like I'm only speaking for men, a lot of times we get caught and we do not want to do the time, because you know why? Men despise seeing an image of themselves, seeing the wrong in themselves. When they got to face the wrong in themselves, it takes a strong man to face himself in the ugly mirror and be like, I'm messed up, I'm jacked up, I'm foul, I'm this, that, and the other. I do this, I do that, but I really need to turn the corner and be better than this. Other than that, the average person will be, they want to take the selfish route, the easiest way to get out of this pain. Get me out of here. Let me get my suitcase and leave, because I'm not standing around while you lock me up. Well, if you don't want to stay around, you don't want to love the person. So, to him, I would say, if you really, honestly, the long and short is, if you really love the woman, you got to stop cheating on her. Knock on wood. You really love the woman, you got to stop cheating on her. If you don't, do the next best thing in her life, and just simply tell her, honestly, I'm not able to carry this out. I'm not built that way. I'm sorry, it's selfish, but I'm not able to carry this out. So I gotta leave. And but it may seem foul and bad, but in the end, it does her better. It does her good. It does their child better. I mean, it does their child good, because the child is not in this environment with all this discord and cursing out, and father in jail psychologically and all this kind of stuff, or the mother being a warden. Oh, it's too much. So unless you're ready to do the time and heal her, you're gonna have to suck it up. Like, if you want to be, like he said, he loved the lady. If you loved her, you got to suck it up and be there. And no matter how ugly it looks and embarrassing, because it can get embarrassing. Oh, I got some embarrassing stories. Yes. But anyway, it can get embarrassing when you are doing the time. But again, I say men do the time where they love. And they only have a deposit in them for that particular person. They don't have a deposit for it. That's why you hear these stories of the man will tell the person, he gets caught, and then he's like, I told you, she ain't mean nothing to me. He don't have the reserve for her. He has a reserve for you. So the kicker is, it's tough, it's tight, but it is the truth. It's just like, you know, he has the reserve for this person. He'll do the time, so to speak. He'll do the repair work for that person. But if he doesn't deem that person like that, he ain't gonna do no repair. He gonna do the next best thing and be selfish and move on and make a new mess. So again, if you love the lady, which was like, you came to me, if you came to me with this question, apparently you trying to figure it out, or maybe you thought I was gonna help you get out of jail. But guess what? I was in there myself, so you got to do the time too. But no, but anyway, so yes, he had to do the time. He got to do the time. He got to do the time and let it be. Do the time and get through it. And there will be a brighter day. You just need to give her time. She ain't going to go get over it. If this has been ongoing, she ain't going to get over it. But I will give you this hint before I go. If you're at the place now where she's at FaceTime and you need to FaceTime, well, guess what? The next step is she's going to detach from you entirely, and then she's going to be laughing at you from somebody else's bed while you at home keeping your daughter. And that's the raw truth. Anyway, all right, well, have a good day, sir, and people, and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Have a great day.